Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I'm really glad you're here today. Today is about one thing it's getting your resume past the filters and in front of a real recruiter. Whatever stage you're at, you'll leave with concrete changes you can make on this afternoon. So, before we begin, we have a couple of quick housekeeping things. All right. If you like, you can turn on your live captions right on the far right of your Chrome. You're going to want to look for those three dots, and that's going to allow you to be able to enable your captions. If you have any questions, you can always drop questions anytime throughout, and we're going to be working through our Q&A near the end of today's session. Everything that we're going to be talking about on today, you can always connect with and be able to access through the content tab. So you don't have to scramble to take notes. The full recording, as well as the actual PowerPoint presentation, will be provided, all right, at the end of today's session. Again, I want to repeat because we get this question all the time. The recording, as well as the full presentation, will be available to you immediately following in the recap email after we wrap up today. So before I get started talking, I want to hear from you in the chat. Tell me the hardest part of updating your resume. Is it formatting? Is it getting past the applicant tracking system? Is it knowing what to include? Or is it tailoring it for each job? I want you to go ahead and drop it into the chat for me. Let me see you. Hello. I'm looking. I'm seeing all kinds of individuals here today. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. So I'm seeing in the chat, I see a C and D, so knowing what to include and what to leave out, as well as tailoring it for each role. I'm seeing tailoring it for each role, C and D. D, getting past the applicant tracking system for sure, tailoring to each role for sure, tailoring it. Or I see getting past the applicant tracking system, absolutely. Never getting feedback and having to guess at what to try changing for sure. I like that you remixed the question. All right. I love that for sure. Definitely. That is a sticking point when you are in the job market for sure. Definitely changing it for each job, tailoring B and D, C. So we have a number of different challenges that we see as we are on our uh, journey for the next step in our career. So what I'd like to do is today we're going to be kind of talking through a ton of the different things that you all mentioned. Okay, so we're going to start from the beginning, and that is the foundation, building a resume that recruiters will actually stop to read. Before I go to the next slide, I'm going to ask you a quick question. I want you to put it in the chat for me. Okay. My question is, how long do you think it takes, or how long do you think a recruiter takes to read over or scan over a resume? I'm not even going to give you a range. I just want you to tell me, what do you think that uh, the average recruiter, the amount of time that the average recruiter takes to scan over a resume? So I see 6 seconds, 16 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 10 seconds, seconds. Thank you, my colleague. 7 seconds, 30 seconds, 5 seconds, 6, 7, 30, few seconds, 20 seconds, less than a minute, less than 5 seconds, 7 seconds. All right, let's see what it is. The answer is 7.4 seconds. Why is it important for us to even think through that? It's important for us to think through that because if you are looking at something in such a short period of time, you aren't per se going into each and every line and reading everything for clarity and for thoroughness. In that 7.7, I'm sorry, 7.4 seconds, you are truly genuinely looking for certain keywords and looking for certain things to either be there or for looking for the absence of something to see whether or not it's easy for me to chunk that over into the trash, or if this is someone based on a quick look, a quick scan, I'm able to see that what has been highlighted aligns with the role that we've advertised for. So the job isn't to cram everything in, it's to make the few things that matter impossible to miss. Okay. So how do we do that? I'm glad that you asked. We do that through formatting your resume. So this is an easy win. It's an easy win, everyone. You want to lead with your experience, your education, and your skills. You want to try to stick to 1 to 2 pages, 2 pages if you have 10 plus years of experience. You want to use a professional email. Y'all, I those of you that have had the opportunity to be at some of the webinars that I've been able to attend, maybe you know that in my past life, I used to work in academe. And I would tell my students all the time the 20 Tweety Bird 97 at Yahoo is not a professional email. You want to structure your email as professionally as possible. And that usually entails your first and last name and then letting it go. So definitely you want to make sure that your email is a good representation of yourself and is as professional as possible. You want to proofread. Remember I said that one of the things that the recruiters do, they scan to look for specific things or the exclusion of certain things. And so if your resume has uh, typos, if your resume's formatting is off, if your resume doesn't have punctuation, that's an easy, oh, this person didn't take the time. This person wasn't detail oriented. This person just gave us whatever. Maybe this person isn't as interested in this particular role. And so that impression could lead your resume to be um, thrown out, for lack of a better term. And so you definitely want to the things that you have the ability to help and assist in your journey, you want to make sure that you're doing that. And so proofreading is so incredibly important, and not just you proofreading, because this is the thing. When you write something, oftentimes we will have in our mind what it's supposed to be. And when we read it, we're reading it with what we believe it is in black and white. If you have someone else to read it, then they may be able to find where you missed a comma, where you missed a word. And so that's another piece of advice. You not only proofread it, but have someone that you trust that is detail oriented to proofread it as well and give you some insight. Okay. You want to list your experience, newest first, and then you want to leave personal details like your age or a photo off entirely. Okay. All right. Let's get into the next component, getting past ATS, or the applicant tracking system. Some people refer to it as the gatekeeper. Why? Because oftentimes, especially in this new incredible world that we are experiencing, um, individuals are utilizing artificial intelligence to help to support efficiency. Okay. And so, what that means is they may they will put certain keywords in that they want for the applicant tracking system to look for, because that's going to help them to not have to go through thousands of resumes. It's going to allow them to be able to streamline their process and be faster and be able to quickly analyze things, as opposed to what it was before, where an individual would go through all and be able to maybe take in those interchangeable words and be able to see, well, I see how this experience aligns with this. Now oftentimes a artificial intelligence is doing a lot of that screening, and so we want to make sure that we're utilizing that information to our advantage. And so, for those of you that are asking what the applicant tracking system is, I'm going to give you the definition. It's that software that filters and ranks you before a human ever sees your resume. You clear it with keywords, pull the exact terms from the posting into your resume and weave them in naturally so it still reads like a person wrote it. So, what am I speaking of? When you have the job description in front of you, you want to look for certain keywords that align with the role. And then you want to make sure that you're utilizing those keywords in order to personalize the resume and mirror the language, because oftentimes the keywords that these hiring managers and recruiters are putting in that they want them to identify are the words that they're actually using in the job description. It's almost like a cheat sheet, right? And so you want to take those words and you don't just want to pile it in there. You want to make sure that it makes sense. You want to make sure that you're inputting it into these different statements, these metric driven statements, your uh, essential functions and duties. You want to make sure that you're inputting it there and that it makes sense where it's put, so it doesn't look like you're stacking your resume. Okay. Because eventually, even though the applicant tracking system does that initial, a human is going to, if you get past the applicant tracking system, a human will be viewing your resume, and so they are absolutely going to be looking at the context behind the words that are on the page, and you want it all to match and connect. Okay, so quick post check. Quick post check. How confident are you in optimizing your resume for the applicant tracking systems? How confident are you on a scale of 1 to 5? A 2, a 3, a 4. Okay, Sharon. I love that you're at a 4. Oh, I love these fives. Yes, yes, yes. Give me more of those. Okay. If you are below a 3, we absolutely want to uh do what we can in order to give you the tools so that you feel a little bit more confident, for sure, for sure, for sure. So I'm glad that you're here. If that is the rating that you're giving yourself now, hopefully by the end of it we shifted 1 or 2 points at least. Okay, so what are hard versus soft skills? Recruiters look for those two types. Hard skills being those industry specific, metrics driven, um, tangible black and white skills. And so if you were a coder, Python, Java, SQL, if you did data analysis, Excel, dashboards, reporting, those are hard skills, whereas soft skills are those interpersonal skills. It is your ability to problem solve, your leadership qualities, your creativity, your people skills, your ability to um, be resilient, your ability um, to evolve and to be able to accept change, your ability to take feedback, that sort of thing. And so, oftentimes, I have heard hiring managers say, if you have a person who has a personality where they are able to connect with the team, are teachable, are have a positive attitude, have a can-do spirit. They can teach them the hard skills. Soft skills aren't things that can be taught. And so oftentimes you have hiring managers that say that as long as they have those soft skills, we can teach you those platforms. We can teach you those applications that you would need to utilize in your roles. And so it's important to know what those things are, and then to be able to speak to those things in your resume, because you absolutely want a fair combination of both. The strongest candidates can show that what they can do as far as the work, as well as that they can work with people, for sure. Okay, so what to include in every role? When you write each role, every bullet should earn its place. Start with an action verb. Describe the value you added and the result you got, and keep it to 3 to 6 bullets. An easy formula is who, what you did, how you did it, and the outcome, and quantify that outcome whenever you can. So I'm going to put you all on the spot. All right. I'm going to put you on the spot because who wants to hear me talk for 45 minutes? I want for us to put this into action. Can someone, some brave individual in the chat, let's tell me a bullet that you would put in your resume. And I want you to incorporate the what you did, how you did it, and the outcome. I'm going to give it a moment. I want to hear from you. Incorporating the what you did, how you did it, and the outcome. All right, I see one. Yay, yay, yay. Collaborated with buying and studio teams as part of their creative styling process by preparing and categorizing materials, thereby increasing efficiency for photography. Absolutely, you get the snaps 100%. And let me ask you this. I think that this is brilliant. It gives me what you did, it tells me how you did it, and you gave me the outcome. The only thing that's missing, the cherry on top, would be the quantification if you have it. So you definitely do not want to inflate your value. Okay. And so if it was an increase of efficiency by 20%, put you increased efficiency by 20%. Okay. You definitely don't want to say 3 times the amount or by 89%, 90%. And there may be instances where you may not have the numbers. I was asked once, how many presentations have I given over the course of my career? And how many people have attended trainings that I have led or presented or facilitated or moderated? I could not tell you if my life was on the line what that number was. I could not tell you. I have, even in the last couple of years, I've tried to write down all of the different presentations and trainings that I've done. And in the last 2 to 3 years, I've done 100 presentations and webinars and speaking. And I cannot tell you what the number of individuals were that attended those trainings. And so there are times that you may not be able to quantify, but when you do have those numbers, you absolutely want to utilize that. All right. Thank you so much, Kimberly. I see another one. Reduced unprocessed leads by 96% by analyzing campaign performance and lead life cycle routing in Salesforce and SQL. Absolutely. And I see that quantification piece. Snaps for you. I see Arlene designed and implemented a multi-regional SharePoint Teams and OneDrive document management ecosystem supporting 100 plus users across 4 distribution centers, 6 departments, and 18 contract manufacturers, centralizing critical logistics documentation, improving visibility across business units, and enabling real-time collaboration. I love that. So you see where the 100 plus users across 4 distribution centers, if it's a situation where you at least have a baseline number, maybe not the exact number, but you have a baseline number, that is a perfect way of being able to quantify. So if I know, like I said, I've done at least 100 in the last 3 years, I can put 100 plus presentations and the range of audiences. I have had audiences as small as two and audiences as large as 1,500 at any given time. And so 100%, I love, 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 love that. Snaps for you as well. Okay, I got time for one more. Let's see what we have here. Release management, manage data integrity and deployment pipelines for 4 major enhancement releases and 8 O&M cycles, leading requirements, grooming, and post-deployment validation for 150 plus users. See, that same thing. If it's not an exact number, you can use that baseline number and put that plus or minus so they know this is approximately where we land. I love that, and I love that, and I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, so let's get into the next piece, the anatomy of a strong resume. Here's how it all stacks up. The header at the top, so it carries to every page, then your professional summary, your skills summary, and your experience. Inside experience, you want to think action, task, result, what you owned, how you did it, and the measurable outcome. And those that were in the chat that just did that who method with me, you already got it. There was not one person that I read that I wouldn't have a question as to what how you benefit, what you specifically did, how it was beneficial, what you owned in terms of the process or the action, or the function of that specific role. And so I think that you all, those that I saw that did it, you have a good grasp of that. You want to make sure that that carries throughout your document. And then the other thing, another piece of advice is you want to put your strongest first. Remember that statistic, that 7.4 seconds. And so if a person is scanning, you want to make sure that that first bullet that they see speaks to the the role that you're applying for and utilizes the language of the role that you're applying for. So you want to make sure that first one is your first impression, like the one that if they don't read anything else below it, it hits, it's solid, it's clearly identifiable. Okay. Next, how are we going to put AI to work on your search? So, for those of you that were saying, I don't know about the applicant tracking system. At this point, I feel like I'm at a 2 or I feel like I'm at a 1. I'm so glad that you were honest about that. I'm going to give you some tips and some tools so that that can increase your score. Okay. Let's get into it, shall we? So, 4 ways AI can sharpen your job search. One, analyzing the job description. All right. So, what you can utilize, uh, there are so many, there's so many AI applications. You have Microsoft Copilot, you have Chat GPT, you have Claude, you have, did I say Google Gemini already? I don't know. But there are so many applications that you are able to utilize. And oftentimes, many of these applications are free. They may have a premium option, but many of these applications are free. And so, the first thing that you can do to utilize AI for your benefit is for it to analyze those job descriptions. And what it can do is it can take your resume and the job description and then identify keywords maybe that you might want to shift to mirror the language of those job descriptions. That's that optimization of keywords. And so it can pull that. It can help you to check the job description against your qualifications to see if this is a role that is relevant your experience is relevant to the role, if you have those transferable skills, if this is a job that you should even take the time to even apply for based on the job description and your experience. And so we've already talked through that optimization of keywords. Y'all, you remember I said the applicant tracking system is a form of artificial intelligence. It is a computer being able to efficiently pull those keywords and be able to rank you and identify if you have the qualifications that have been input. And so if the applicant tracking system is using artificial intelligence, how much awesome is it for you to use that same uh technology to support what you're trying to do, which is to get an opportunity to be seen by these recruiters. And so you absolutely want to utilize AI to be able to optimize your resume. There are so many different ways that you can say the same thing. And so as long as the suggestions that are made are not shifting the intent and the experience that you have, you can absolutely use it to help you to sharpen it based on what the organization, the company is looking for, to give you a better chance of being able to get through to being screened and have a human view your application or your resume. Okay. Next component is tailoring your resume for each role. And so not only just analyzing the job description to see if this is something that you should apply for, and then optimizing the keywords or pulling the keywords that you would need to utilize for your resume. But then you use that information. You now know those words. Now you can use it to tailor your resume, to tailor your cover letter. And so you want to make sure that, um, and this is the best way, when you are on your job search, it is imperative, especially now, that you truly tailor each resume, each cover letter to the role that you're applying for. That's going to give you the best opportunity to be noticed. Is being able to utilize that language to be able to mirror the language of the job description. And so you want to use it for those reasons. And then whatever it shoots back to you, you want to make sure that you take that as a draft, that you then, excuse me, that you then take and edit to ensure that it is accurate, to ensure that it is in your voice, and to ensure that it is representing what you want to communicate. And so understand, you all have access to information like this, and other people have access to this same kind of information about how you can optimize artificial intelligence for your job search. And so hiring managers are having to contend with resumes and applications that are truly off, so, well, many times are AI generated. And there are certain key things that can turn a person or a hiring manager off if it truly looks like copy and paste, if it looks like this person didn't put forth the effort. And so you want to make sure that you are humanizing whatever you're getting back to give you um, the best, to provide you with the best impression, to give you the best opportunity to be able to get to the human. You want to make sure that you are going through and quality uh, assuring your own output, to make sure that it is putting out into the world what you really truly are wanting to put out. Okay, super 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 important. Okay, next thing, reading the job description like a recruiter. It all starts with the posting. You want to read it the way a recruiter would. pull out the skills, the qualifications, the experience level that they need, and read between the lines for the company's values and the language that they use. Then mirror that exact language back in your resume. That is what you can do, as well as this is what you can do utilizing artificial intelligence to help to make it more efficient. Because the more applications, just I will tell you, in the time that I was doing a job search, personalizing each resume and application could take hours. And so utilizing artificial intelligence to help to make it more efficient, it definitely is a game changer for sure. Okay, prompts to help you to build your resume. You don't have to be a prompting expert. Here are 3 prompts that you can copy and paste tonight. So, first prompt, write a resume for this title at this company with bullet point achievements that show impact and metrics. And then you want to paste the job description. The other prompt, write a tailored resume for blank role, include a professional summary, my last 10 years with 3 to 5 bullets per role, and the most important keywords from the posting. Third prompt, based on this blank posting, write a resume for my past however number of years with 3 to 5 metrics driven bullets per role and the 10 most important keywords. My past titles were X, Y, and Z, and then you want to paste the job description. Now, it's important that you paste the job description as well. I'm going to also add this: the more context that you provide the to AI, the more accurate it will be for you. And so, if you want to, you can, of course, it's important that you paste the job description, but also if you have a version of your resume already, put your resume into AI so they then can, from your own voice, be able to switch up things, change things, reswizzle things, that will help to generate a resume that truly aligns with the work that you did. Okay, if you say I was a account manager, that may be different depending on what organization that you worked with or for. And so when I was an account manager before, I wasn't just doing account management, customer check-ins and contract things. I was also doing learning and development. And so if I just put in write a resume for account manager two, uh, with these bullet points and just put in the job description, it would absolutely exclude anything regarding the experience that I had in combining that account management with my learning development job functions. And so, if you have a resume, it's important for you to provide it because it can make sure that the resume truly speaks to the breadth and the context of what you truly did. Okay. All right. And then also, I know that you all are like, "Oh, this is really good information." I'm pretty sure that's what you're saying. Don't don't be concerned, don't be dismayed. We are absolutely going to be sharing the presentation in the post webinar email that you're going to be receiving. So don't worry, that you'll have access to this after the webinar today. Okay. All right. So let's get back into it. How often should you tailor your resume for each application? Is it A, always on every application? Is it B, sometimes only for roles I really want? Is it C, never, one resume for everything? Now, y'all, if you were listening, if you were listening to me, hopefully we all come together. All right, I'm seeing a sea of A's. I see, I see some B's. I see some B's. I'm very glad that I don't see C's. All right, that's awesome. I see A's and B's in either of those, either of those work. Okay, you definitely don't want to just use one resume for everything because truly you want to put your best foot forward and give yourself the best chance to stand out. All right. So the honest answer is almost always you don't need a brand new resume every time. Keep two or three tailored versions for the kinds of roles you go after. The content stays similar. It's the keywords that shift to match each posting and each applicant tracking system. Okay. And so understand there may be roles that you have that are similar that you are applying for at the same time. If the roles are similar, it literally may be a few keywords that you might shift. You might highlight one specific thing over in your executive summary that maybe you don't highlight in the other because in the other role that specific thing wasn't specified. And so sometimes it really is just a matter of tweaking one if the roles are similar. And so that almost always it absolutely works. Okay. So, prompts to tailor your resume. Here are three prompts for tailoring. You can paste in your current resume, as I've already mentioned, then ask AI to align them, surface the skills to highlight or rewrite your bullets for that specific role. And so, those prompts are tailoring my resume to blank role, job description at, and then paste your resume and the posting. And then using my resume and this posting, show me the 10 most relevant skills I should highlight, and then you want to paste both the resume as well as the job description. And then here's my resume. How would you rewrite it for blank role? Include metrics in the achievements, and then you're going to paste both as well. All right. So next, avoiding the pitfalls of AI. I've already mentioned some of those, but a few key guardrails in order to ensure that it helps you as opposed to hurting you. You want to, as I've already mentioned, be specific. Okay. Give it enough context to really work with. You want to mix and match your prompts until you find what works. The bottom line, as we've mentioned, in the job market now, it is truly competitive. AI can give you a really good edge, but not without you putting effort into it. You have to make sure that you are QAing your stuff. You want to make sure that it doesn't look like you just copied and pasted AI. You want to make sure that you are going through and editing and ensuring that it is speaking to who you are and the breadth of knowledge and the breadth of experience that you truly genuinely have. All right. So here's how I want you to think about it. AI is a tool for your job search, not a replacement. As I've already mentioned, I'm going to keep reiterating this because this is so important. You always want to double check and you want to edit everything it generates before you submit it. The judgment and the story are yours, not AI. So you want to make sure that you are truly, truly, truly QAing your own output. Okay. So, what's one thing you'll change on your resume after today? Put it in the chat for me. What is one thing that you will change on your resume after today? What is one thing that you've learned uh, today that you will implement as you are on your job search journey? I love what you said, Leah. If it was a replacement, it would cost more for sure. For sure. All right. So I'm seeing using keywords. Absolutely, Rain. I see the who method. Yes, yes, yes. Remove a few bullets, leaving highlighted bullets only for sure. As we've mentioned, 7.4 seconds. 7.4 seconds. And so we want to make sure that we're highlighting those major ticket areas as much as possible so that they can truly see, boop, in that 7.4 seconds, what you bring to the table. I need a one pager and I will try by tailoring each resume prior, I suppose. Absolutely, Brandon. Absolutely. The who method, make bullets more metrics focused for sure. It's something that I don't know why. I don't, and maybe my colleague who's going to be joining in 2.5 seconds can give some insight into this. I don't know why um those numbers really make a difference, but it does. And it's something that I have absolutely in when I was in the job search, I was putting on my resume, and the resumes that had numbers absolutely got more traction and more attention. And so uh, I'm assuming that it's because it's easier to be able to quantify the value that you added when numbers are added. There are certain individuals that are more quantitative, and so they are able to assess things better with numbers as opposed to qualitative, which is more of that contextual piece. And so I think that combination of both is really really key. All right, make already went through that. Change keywords and the details for sure. Who and TAR absolutely. Tremaine said, make sure to include key words on roles, keywords, the who method, quantitative analysis, put keywords, updating bullet points, highlighting the best strengths first. Yes, yes, yes. Putting the top, like the thing that is setting you apart, the thing that you do that aligns the most with the role. You want to put that as your first bullet for sure for all of the roles that you're going to be using in terms of your experience. All right. Research more about the applicant tracking system to see, examine how their algorithms work. You know what? Honestly, I think that that would be a brilliant move to see how it works so that you could use it for your advantage for sure. What happens if I write 2 pages in a resume? Okay, that is, I will tell you this, and I'm actually going to introduce my colleague who's going to be answering some questions for us. But you can put, and this is something that I had said in the presentation, you absolutely can have 2 pages if you have 10 plus years of work experience. All right. And without further ado, I would love, love, love to introduce you to my colleague who is going to be supporting us with today's Q&A. Anushree?
Hey everyone, thank you, Brittany. Hi, my name is Anushri. I'm based out of Chantilly, Virginia. Currently working as a recruiter with Career Circle, and I have a decade of experience within the staffing and recruiting space. Very happy to be here. To answer the question for a two-page resume, I think one of the biggest myths in the recruiting and staffing industry is that you need to have a page of resume, which is completely untrue. Like Brittany mentioned, if you have like a decade of experience, there's absolutely no way that you can showcase it in like just a page or resume. So it's absolutely fine if your resume is for 2 page or 3 pages. That's absolutely recommended. In fact, one page or resume hardly does any justice to your experience and the knowledge and the value you're bringing to the table. So, irrespective of the fact your resume really can't be, say, 7 pages or 8 pages long, that would be a lot. But then it's absolutely fine to have up till 4 pages.
Thank you so much. I have another question for you. For keywords, applicant tracking system, what about past tense versus present tense for the keywords? The descriptions are often present tense, but my resume is past tense. Does that have an impact?
That's a great question. I don't think past tense would have any impact as far as screening through the applicant tracking system is concerned. However, my recommendation would be to use present tense for the most recent engagement that you've been into. So, for example, if you're working in XYZ company, I would highly recommend to put all the bullet points into present tense, and then for your previous engagements and jobs you can do that for your past tense. But as far as going through an applicant, wouldn't really uh, wouldn't really be a deal breaker, and that wouldn't really cause any problems.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What about what are some key tips on networking our way into an interview? Are there any ways that you can network your way into an interview?
That's an excellent question. I would say that the landscape of recruiting and how talent is being identified is completely different from what it used to be 5 years or 10 years back. What I have seen most success with is people posting on LinkedIn about some of their incidences and some of their experiences where they have gone above and beyond. So your resume is literally just the formal page or a formal document that showcases and highlights your experience, but then your LinkedIn profile gets a lot of visibility among recruiters and hiring managers and other people in your professional space who could be looking out for talent, who could be recruiting. What I have really seen a lot of success is people posting on LinkedIn about something really funny or something where they have gone above and beyond and something they have done outrageous in one of their positions, in their current positions, on their previous positions, and that getting a lot of traction, a lot of visibility. I would highly recommend doing that. I've been very shy and introvert myself in terms of posting. I've gotten a little better, but then that's something that I would highly recommend. So, say for example, you crushed a deal or you handled a difficult stakeholder in a really, really good way. What was your learning out of it? What did you learn from that situation? Put it in the AI tool, polish it a little bit, use the prompt that polish this for a LinkedIn post, and then you can post it. And you can post it say every Thursday or every Friday or once in 2 weeks, and slowly you will start getting a lot of visibility on your profile and on your post, and that gets a lot of traction.
Awesome. Thank you so much. My next question, and y'all keep those questions coming. All right. The next question is, which method is more impactful to use, the STAR method or the WHO method? Are there different circumstances to use either, or should you use both?
In my experience, I think STAR method is the most effective in terms of putting some of the quantifiable results and action that you have taken and what results and deliverables have come out of it. I am a big voucher of STAR method, whether it's answering your interviewing questions or whether it's putting and showcasing your experience in the resume. So I would highly recommend the STAR method.
Okay, absolutely. The next question is, I have been under consideration for a direct company application where I submitted my 3-page resume for almost 2 weeks now. Should I consider this application stuck or dead? Should I do any follow up?
My recommendation would be to do a follow up. Probably try to see who the hiring manager is or who the job poster is on LinkedIn, and try sending them an email or a connection request. Uh, that would be my recommendation if it's been 3 weeks. And again, like, three-pager resume wouldn't really make any difference, wouldn't really be a deal breaker, so I wouldn't be too concerned about it. But yeah, that's what you can do. You can either email them or you can reach out to them on LinkedIn and see what the status is.
Great advice. My next question is, should I add all my experience if it doesn't relate to the job I am applying for? Great question.
Great question. Yeah. uh it well, I would recommend that you shouldn't be omitting out anything where you have made significant difference. So for example, if there is a job where stakeholder management is not something which is highly required, but you really dealt with some very very difficult stakeholders in your past position, I would still put a bullet or two, because that's the places where you have gone above and beyond. uh, so I wouldn't omit out anything that's very significant, that's very important, and more than that, something that you're truly passionate about. I wouldn't omit that. However, if something is completely unrelatable to your present position, to the job you're applying, and more importantly, where you want to go, if that's something that is completely unrelatable to where you want to be in your next position, or say in your next 3 years, then I would really not put it.
Awesome. Do resumes that include unique formatting and or a professional headshot have a greater chance of getting noticed by a recruiter? This is a good question because we definitely had an opinion about this in the presentation. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. uh, just from what I have seen, a professional headshot is not something that's extremely recommended for a resume, just because it can create some biases. And I have not seen a lot of difference, to be very honest, in terms of hiring managers shortlisting the resume on the basis of any special formatting or any special headshots. What I would recommend is not to make your resume too flowery or too fancy, so that someone is not able to understand or read, and make your fonts very smaller, or make some fonts very unusual, or put your LinkedIn profile link or your contact information very small. Those are some of the things that I would be really paying attention to. Otherwise, just a clean, simple format is something that's can never go wrong. So that's what my recommendation would be. Try to have it as simple, as basic as possible. uh, Create a general spacing between the lines, so that the content is able to breathe when someone is looking at it and not overwhelmed by it. Yeah.
And I also wanted to add this context as well. The information that we are providing is is North America based, because I know that there
Yes.
are certain countries that headshots are standard. And so I did a quick check, um, and it is standard practice to have a headshot in certain countries in Europe, in certain countries in Asia, in the Middle East, and in Latin America. And so, want to ensure that I provided that context, that if you are applying for roles externally, like if you are applying outside of North America, that advice might be different because it is standard practice for other countries. All right. Next question. Do resumes that, oh, excuse me. What are your thoughts on if I were to post a creative project that solves a problem and results on my resume, but it is not necessarily from my current job? Would
Yeah.
that be, oh, talk
Sorry,
to
go
me.
ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, 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 that's good. Come on, talk to me. What are
No,
your thoughts?
I think that's a great way to showcase your experience. Something where you have gone above and beyond. You did something creative. You did some problem solving. Even if it's from your last role, I would highly recommend to put it.
Absolutely. And we might have time for maybe two more questions. Second to the last. Does it look desperate to put the open to work frame on the LinkedIn photo profile? Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's an excellent one. I don't think it looks desperate to put a green banner. I think it's just honest. A lot of people are really struggling in the job market given the conditions that we are in, and it's completely fine to put yourself honestly out there and ask for work. In fact, I, as a recruiter, I tend to shortlist people who are open to work. So in fact, people who put themselves as a green banner tend to get my attention, because I know that they are really looking out for a role. They are immediately available, so it actually gives you an edge.
Absolutely. And last question of the day. What's one thing you consistently see missing from resumes that would make a strong impression on a recruiter?
I think what we have discussed in this webinar before, I think the biggest missing piece that I see in the resumes is that there are no quantifiable results put in there. Most of the resumes read like job descriptions, where they talk about the responsibilities and the work that they have been doing, but there hasn't been any metrics, any numbers, any quantifiable outcomes or deliverables that are put in there. And that's the biggest missing piece that I see.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great advice. Thank you so much, Anushri. And thank you to everyone who joined us today for Get Your Resume Noticed by Recruiters. I hope you're leaving with at least one thing you can put into practice right away. Before you go, save the date. Next Tuesday, July 21st, we're hosting our next workshop, Step by Step How to Use AI in Your Job Search, in partnership with IBM Skills Build. If today's session on using AI for your resume sparked your interest, that one goes even deeper. You can register at careercircle.com/events. Keep an eye out for our post event recap email. It will include the recording as well. It will include the PowerPoint and all of today's resources and the link to our post event survey. If you complete the survey, you'll be entered in for a chance to win a Career Circle tote bag. The winner will be contacted on July 22nd. Before you go, please scan the QR code on the screen or check the link in your post email to take our quick post event survey. Your feedback helps us to keep making these sessions more useful to you. Thank you again and take care. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone.